Hey, I'm Jacques, and today I want to talk to you about how I've been able to build multiple service businesses that runs entirely without me and how you can do the same thing as well. If you own a service business, whether it's an agency or a home service or cleaning, painting, HVAC, etc., just give me a few minutes and I want to share with you the method that I've personally used to optimize my businesses, remove myself from the daily grind, and build operations that continue to grow and scale with very minimal effort and input from me. I've done this multiple times across many different industries, cleaning, agencies, web studios, publishing companies, and I've also helped other companies in multiple service industries do the same thing. At the end of this video, I'm gonna show you some case studies of businesses just like you who went from working 60-hour weeks to just checking in a few hours a week, all while revenue and profits continue to rise. These are founders who were once buried in the day-to-day, were stuck in sales, delivery, team management, etc. Now they just check in a few hours a week and their businesses continue to grow. Now they're able to take real vacations, like actually turning their phone or computers off while the business continue working without them, right? Now, let's have an honest conversation. Does this sound familiar? So you're making 30K, 80K, maybe even 200K a month, but you feel trapped. Every time you try to delegate, something goes wrong. So you end up fixing their mistake, answering a million questions, and basically doing the work anyway. You can't take a real vacation without everything falling apart. Now, it turns out the problem isn't that you need more people. The problem is you're trying to delegate what hasn't been systematized, right? So how do you go about systemizing businesses? Well, let me show you the exact system that I implement in my businesses as well as my clients. I call this the SEAD sequence. The S stands for systematize, the E stands for eliminate, A is for automate, and the D is for delegate. So first, the S. We actually start by systematizing your business, and we start that by actually creating process maps of all of your different business functions. We're talking about sales, we're talking about marketing, we're talking about recruitment, we're talking about customer delivery. So we start by creating a process map of how everything currently works in your business step by step. And for instances where there are different options, for example, if this, then that, then we create different paths that represents different routes that your team members can take. And once we create that, the next thing we do, which is the E, eliminate. We work to eliminate by simplifying or reducing or removing what's unnecessary. So by looking at this process map, we can see which steps causes some friction and we look to see what we can remove. Our goal is to get rid of up to 30% of all the current work that's being done so that we then use that to move to the next phase. So the next one is automate. But before we automate, we actually go and document. So whatever's left, so in this case, we're looking at these steps right here in the processes, whatever's left, we actually create assets. So as you can see, there's SOPs here, right? We create accompanying assets that look something like this, that the team can then use whenever they're creating things, whatever they need resources. These are the assets that the team uses. That is a SOP library that is used to then find how we do the thing for that particular stage. So then we automate. That's when we look at which of these steps can we actually let AI or tools or automation take over. For example, in this example, in the customer acquisition, the new lead generation, the qualifying of the leads, and most of the follow-ups are all done automatically, as we can see based on the star here and the star here. And so these processes look something like this, and this is how they're set up with different pathways. And so we work with you to figure out which of the steps in your business that can be automated. And then once we finally finish doing that, then and only then do we actually delegate by hiring team members who are going to help take over the rest of the tasks that's left. So seed, systemize, eliminate, automate, and delegate. Not only will your business be a leaner and cleaner operation, but this is the process that we go through to remove you from the day-to-day so you can stop dealing with constant fires and actually get some headspace back. Here are some real results of the SEAD method. So John is a web designer who worked with us. Before us, John was charging $8,000 for websites and working over 60 hours a week. After the Creative Freedom SEAD method, John went to charging $25K per project and works just a few hours a day. And he recently just closed his largest project, a $100,000 website. The same thing happened to Yvette, who owns a photo booth company. And similarly, during our freedom assessment, within the first 2 days of our work together, we found a profit opportunity for her that allowed her to make $5,000 in the first 2 days of working with us. Also, we work with Ralphie, who's a barbershop owner, who we created a strategy for to help increase his profits by 70% and reducing his work hours by 90%. So now he's making the same amount of money, even more, by just working just a few hours a day. And lastly, we have Alex, who's a recent client who is currently making 70 to 85K a month in his business, but he's working 10 plus hours a day. So the goal within the next 90 days is going to be for us to work with him to increase his revenue by 15% while reducing his work to 10 hours per week. But none of this actually works if you don't understand your business fundamentals first. So before we build systems and map out processes and build SOPs, we first actually work with you to gauge the health of your business, right? So we work with you to figure out your real customer acquisition costs, what services actually make money versus keep you busy, where you're bleeding cash and money, and what your actual profit margins are. Because we can't actually optimize what hasn't been measured. And so first we measure so we can get a sense of where the business is, and then we will then move on to making adjustments based on those information. And during that phase, we also find that we can easily find profit opportunities that historically will increase your profits by at least 10%. Look, if this sounds like something that could actually work for your business, I want to show you exactly how it would look for your specific situation. So I want to invite you to a quick strategy session with me and / or my team, where we'll map out a clear path to help you stop the bleeding, remove yourself from the daily grind, and actually build a business that is profitable, scalable, and enjoyable, all without needing your constant input 24/7. So during that call, we'll look at your systems and operations. We'll look at how we can optimize and automate your workflows, and ultimately figure out what are the key steps we need to make to remove you from the day-to-day operations. If you're interested, just fill out the application below to see if we're a good fit for you. Look, this is not a course. It's a personalized one-on-one where we'll work with you to create a 90-day plan to help you get to your freedom. It's a done-for-you implementation where myself and my team will work with you to build these systems. So if you're interested, I do want to let you know, I only accept 5 business owners a month to do this work with, just because, as you can imagine, it takes a lot of time, effort, and energy. So if you are serious and you're tired of being buried in your business and want to actually step away without everything falling apart, I want to chat with you. The longer you wait, the more expensive this will get for your business. Every month you stay trapped costs you time with your friends, family, and opportunities you can't even see it. So if you're interested, fill out the application. Let's set up a time to chat, and I look forward to speaking with you. All right? Talk to you soon.